Day 15 of 90. Today we are covering the OS and subprocess modules for Python security scripting. These two modules handle almost everything related to running system commands, managing processes, and interacting with the file system. If you write security tools in Python, you will use these constantly. The goal today is to do it safely, because subprocess misuse is one of the most common sources of command injection in Python applications. Let us start with the basics of subprocess.run. The safe pattern is passing your command as a list of strings, not as a single concatenated string. When you write subprocess.run with a list like map-sv-p 22,80 and the target IP, each argument goes directly to the operating system exec call. There is no shell sitting in between interpreting meta characters. Compare that to passing a formatted string with shell equals true. If an attacker controls any part of that string, they can inject semicolons, pipes, or backticks to run arbitrary commands. I wrote a wrapper function called safe_command that enforces shell equals false, sets a timeout, merges environment variables safely, and catches both timeout expired and file not found error exceptions. Every security tool I call goes through this wrapper. Now let us talk about capturing and parsing output. Running a command is only useful if you can extract meaningful data from its results. I wrote a function that calls ss-tlnp to list listening TCP ports, then parses each line with regex to pull out the port number and the process name. The alternative would be piping ss through grep through awk in a shell string, which is both fragile and injectable. By keeping the parsing in Python, I get proper error handling, structured data I can feed into reports, and zero injection risk. I also wrote a file permission checker that calls find with the -perm flag to locate world writable files. Same pattern, list arguments, capture output, parse in Python. Process management is the next piece. Sometimes you need more control than subprocess.run gives you. For long-running security scans, I use subprocess, Popen. Popen lets you stream stout line by line while the process runs, track elapsed time, and terminate the process if it exceeds your timeout. I built a function called run_with_progress that starts a Popen process, reads lines in a loop, checks elapsed time on each iteration, and calls terminate if the scan takes too long. This is essential for tools like Nikto or Derb that can run for minutes on large targets. You do not want a hung process blocking your entire automation pipeline. The key methods are poll to check if the process is still running, read line to grab output incrementally, and terminate followed by wait to clean up. Command injection prevention deserves its own section because it is still in the OWASP top 10. I have 3 rules. Rule 1, always use list arguments with shell equals false. Rule 2, validate every piece of external input with a strict allowList regex before it reaches any command. For hostnames, I check that the string contains only alphanumeric characters, dots, and hyphens. Anything else gets rejected with a value error. Rule 3, if you absolutely must use shell equals true for a complex pipeline, use schlex.quote on every variable. I showed a side-by-side comparison in my code. The dangerous version uses an f string inside a shell equals true call. An attacker could pass 8.8.8.8 cat/etc/shadow and get the password file. The safe version validates first, then passes a list. No injection possible. Finally, the OS module. This handles file system operations that come up in forensics and hardening assessments. I wrote a directory auditor that uses os.walk to traverse a path recursively, then calls os.stat on each file to check permissions. It flags 2 things, world writable files, which have the s_i with bit set, and suid binaries, which have the s_i bit set. Both are common privilege escalation vectors. The function also grabs the file owner and group using pwd and grp modules, so you get a complete picture of who owns what and whether the permissions make sense. Running this against /tmp or /var on a server during a hardening assessment quickly reveals misconfigurations. That wraps up day 15. The key points: use subprocess.run with list arguments and shell equals false, always validate inputs, use Popen for long-running scans that need timeout control, and use os.walk with stat for Filesystem auditing. Tomorrow on day 16, we will cover file handling and I/O operations for processing security data. See you there.